welcome back to the Owatonna Coaches Show. Again, you can find the Coaches Show on local cable here in Owatonna, channels 8, channel 20, on the internet, blip.tv. You can also check OwatonnaHockey.com, Owatonna Wrestling Show, believe it or not, and Youth First Inc., and we'll have YouTube clips on both those YouTube channels. Again, we want to remind our audience now that the new Owatonna Hockey book is out. And again, you can find a copy of this around town starting next week here at different sponsor locations. But the best way to get one, of course, is to attend one of our local home hockey games and pick up your free copy. And we just had a great sponsor list, if you will, that's involved in there, and sponsors that really came to the table for us, including InstyPrints, who's our official printer of the hockey book this year. Again, we want to thank sponsors Ag Power, Alexander Lumber, Bremer Bank, Culligan, Family Vision Center, Federated Insurance, InstyPrints, Jostens, Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, Oldenburg Photography, Straight River Sports and Sign Pro, Truth Hardware, Trelo, Walzer Chevrolet Buick, the Four Seasons Center here, of course, our home of our home ice, and Waseca Chrysler Center and the World of Wheels right here in Owatonna for their support of Owatonna Hockey and the Coaches Show. And again, the Coaches Show is brought to you by our Youth Hockey Association, OYHA, the Blue Line Club, as well as Youth First. My name is Mark Arjes, and we're here to get caught up with Coach Josh Storm. How are you tonight?
Well, yourself?
Good, good. Just coming off of a nice practice tonight. I bet the guys were working hard.
Yep, we had a nice bounce-back practice today.
Okay.
Guys did a nice job today.
Yeah. So I hate to bring it up, but I know you had a tough loss last night over at Century, so any thoughts kind of rolling around in your head from last night's game?
Yeah, we didn't play bad. We put up 45 shots on goal, and it happens in hockey where you get a hot goaltender and they get a bounce or break early in the game. And we've been saying that for a couple of weeks now, that it seems our first periods have been hurting us a little bit and got down early. And guys battled back in the third period, made it 2-1, had a lot of opportunities, but we just couldn't find it. Their goalie was a little bit too good for us last night. But talked about some stuff and made some adjustments today, and we'll get better tomorrow.
Good. Well, that's why you play the game, right?
Absolutely.
It's just it's great about high school sports. So, and speaking of, I was looking at, you mentioned how hot the goalie was. I actually read a little article in Rochester paper, and it kind of sounded like maybe the kid was on fire. So
yeah, had a nice day for him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of nice articles in the paper, this is the Owatonna People's Press, and I want to stick it up in front of your nose there, but nice article happened to come out yesterday before the game, right?
Yep.
Well, what a great article. You talk a lot in there about, just some of the things you've been able to do and places you've been able to play over the holidays and stuff and the pace of the game.
Yeah, we've really been lucky. Our Blue Line Club and our sponsors have really supported us and sent us up to Duluth for a holiday tournament, and that was one of my goals, is to really increase our competition level, the people that we were playing. And we got to play Cloquet, who was, in my opinion, could beat anybody any given night, and they were really good. And Bemidji has a couple D1 guys on their team, and we played Rosemount, who is kind of the team I came from, so that was kind of a neat experience for us. Would have liked a little bit better outcome, but all those teams we played with, to some extent. Cloquet took us a little while to figure out what the heck was going on with how fast they were and how skilled and how quick they moved the puck. But in the third period, we played a very good game, outshot them, outscored them, and really did a nice job. So I think we realized we can play with anybody when we play the right style. And then, we had a good time just hanging out with a bunch of buddies and growing as a bunch of teammates and friends, and that was good, and that was kind of the main reason for the trip too.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, so give us an assessment, kind of where you're at, as far as the team right now. We're in January already, which is kind of hard to believe, but you're making a press now to kind of look ahead toward the end of the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're 8-7 right now, and we started out pretty slow, and that's okay, and that's understandable with as many football players we have and guys coming back from that and not necessarily being in the best hockey shape. It's a little bit different and different muscles, and the only way you can train your body for hockey is playing hockey. So it took us a little while to get them back, and we've been playing pretty good hockey since they've all been back and kind of back in the flow. We've been extremely competitive. We're starting to put up a lot more shots, which is a focus of ours, and the guys are just really buying into the system and buying into what we preach day in, day out.
Good. So this week, again, we mentioned that game last night, but you host Austin here on Thursday, it sounds like, right? Big 9 opponent?
Yep, Austin's a much improved team. They've been beating some good teams and playing with some good teams and scaring some good teams. And, that's a team that's struggled the past few years, but they have a new coach in, and he's really doing a nice job motivating his guys, and his guys are kind of doing the same thing that we're doing. We're buying in and playing hard, and we can't overlook them at all.
Okay. Now, have you guys played that this year?
Nope, this is our first meeting with them, and I think our last one is the last game of the year.
Oh, okay. So that'll be neat. And then mentioned the cities. Looks like Saturday, then you go up and tackle another cities opponent in Spring Lake Park.
Yep, we're going to Spring Lake Park, and they've played a lot of like opponents of ours, and have done better in some cases and worse in some cases. We beat them last year in overtime, so I'm sure they'll look for a little bit of revenge. But when you get to those cities games, the kids get in the cities, they play a lot more hockey than us year round, and they're better with their sticks and a little bit more physical, and they have to react faster. They're playing top 10 teams quite a bit, and that's why we need to be up there and playing them on a regular basis. So it'll be good for us.
So when you schedule games like that? I mean, obviously it's an away trip and all that, but you're going into that metro market. Is there, what are your goals for something like that? It obviously doesn't affect your section
rating,
anything like that, but you've got something you're trying to get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. My goals are for us to work on the things that we're implementing at the time. Right now we're putting in a new forecheck, so we have a few more options, and we'll definitely run that for a lot of that game. But to be honest, it's just to keep cranking up the pace of play. We get some of these games where it's just not fast hockey, and when we have to go to sections and play Lakeville North and Lakeville South, they're playing number 1, 2, 3, 4 in the state every night, it seems like, and we're playing number 80 and 90 in the state, and it's just tough to catch up to that speed when it comes to section time when you don't play that speed all year round. So that's kind of what we look for, just to kind of crank up the speed of everything.
So it's seeing that from the other team.
Absolutely.
As well as maybe, are there things that you do yourself too in your system, like in practice here tonight, are there things you're doing to increase the speed of what you guys do?
We preach a lot about moving our feet, and we're on them all the time about practicing uncomfortably. We don't want any comfort. One of our biggest phrases we use is be out of your comfort zone, and it's in everything, in shooting, stick handling, keeping our eyes up. Everything should be uncomfortable to them, because when they come to the game, it needs to be comfortable, and that's the only way you're going to be able to catch up to that speed, is being training uncomfortably.
Cool. So who have you got, as far as players right now that, you like what you're seeing the improvement that you're looking for? I'm sure you got some guys that are probably, hot right now, if you want to call it that. But
Yep. Luke Giebling, our goaltender, has done a really nice job. He's been playing solid for us all year long, and we challenged him earlier and said, you want the job, you want it every night, take it. Make it your job, and he's done a nice job of that. He really has, and he's a good leader back there for us. Brian Kidd, defensively, has just been phenomenal. I mean, I don't know if you can find a better defensive defenseman in the Big Nine, in my opinion, and he's a great kid, works hard on and off the ice and all year long. Radslav, Kirsch, Kolstrup, and Bloomquist, all those guys definitely every night are bringing their top stuff, and they're some of the best players in the Big Nine. We're getting a lot of side play from like Mitch Skelton and Peter Hansen and Andrew Rammert, and those kind of guys are stepping up and definitely playing better hockey than last year and really improving their game. Big part of our team.
Good. Yeah, in fact, who scored the goal last time?
Pete Hansen has 2 goals in 2 games here. And
okay.
He's had a huge goal for us in Faribault and had another one last night on the power play, so he's been really doing a nice job for us.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you mentioned sections, so I think you said, if I heard right, the Lakeville schools are probably at the top of the section, and we were just talking to Coach Sunst, and Dodge County is a kind of a local area team that's in his section that's going to be competitive. Who else other than Lakeville are playing into your section seating?
Yeah, I see the Lakeville top 2. I don't know which way. I know South beat North the first time, so South probably has a little bit of an upper hand right now. I think Farmington and Mayo are probably 3-4. Mayo beat Farmington early in the year, so maybe they're 3 and Farmington's 4, and then I think we're right in there with 5-6 with JM and Century, and we split with Century. We have JM coming back here, and then from there it's Dodge County and Winona and those type of teams.
Sure. Cool. Well, we'll look forward to over the next couple of weeks kind of catching up to you after week to week and see how things progress.
Absolutely.
And keeping folks apprised of that. And again, we want to not only thank Coach for his time tonight, but remind everybody, hey, to stop out Thursday night, home game with Austin. And again, pick up your copy of the Owatonna hockey book, as well as look for that out around the sponsors. Again, look for the YouTube clips and the Owatonna Coaches Show out on OwatonnaHockey.com. Of course, there's a lot of great information out there, not only on the high school teams, but as well as links to the Steele County Blades. We'll have some games coming up yet, home games, and there's also several youth hockey tournaments with our Youth Hockey Association that will be hosted here at the Four Seasons Center. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to catching up to Coach Storm next week.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.